Hello, welcome. This is Pieces of Pat Paints. I'm Pat. I paint pieces. We're working on Godfrey from Elden Ring. If you're not familiar with Elden Ring, it is a video game. It's very popular. They just had a big DLC, which is downloadable content. Look at me dropping terms. So I'm an artist, though. I paint things, and here in my studio, this studio here. It's called Queldritch, if you care to know that. Some of you may, some of you may not, don't care. But I did name my studio just because I'm a geek and I'm a weirdo. So I think that's part of all the way this works is you have to be kind of strange to be an artist. We see things differently, I suppose. Maybe that's how it works. Anyway, we have a really cool cloak to be working on today. We're going to try and get ourselves a pretty good way through it today. We'll see what all we can get done. I'm hoping we can, at the very least, get onto some leaves and maybe even a few flowers. We will see. Oh, that's got too much water in it. Oh, you don't need to look at me either. So, anyway, welcome to the show. I'm going to shrink me down. And we're gonna do a little dance. Make a little get down tonight, all that stuff. Anyway, this is a wet palette I'm using here. I was soaking the sponge prior to us getting started. So I'll just soak it off and then I will dump off my excess water. And that's, pretty much it. And then you just take this little guy here and you put it down in the middle and bada bing bada boom. Smooth it out. Kind of get it to where it needs to be. Super easy. So anyway, those things are a lot of fun. And they do help keep your paints from drying out as fast. So, if you take a little bit of time and you can usually get to store a day or so over. Don't rely on it to keep your paints fresh forever. It's not going to work that way. But it does work for a little while. And it's quite useful, honestly. Alright. My chair rollies are always getting in the wrong way. Alright, so let's grab some music. There we go. It's a little Cyber Guy audio. Again, we'll probably jump over to something else here in a minute. Not a minute, but in another episode or two. I'll see what else I can find, just so we can get some variety. Okay, so we're gonna need some white and some Payne's gray to get the stuff that we were working on yesterday going. Payne's gray. And we're also going to probably need to come through and get the rest of the cloak colors in. And I'm actually thinking we're going to do that in acrylic blue, which is I love this blue. It's a great blue, and it should look great as the highlight here. So I'm going to just do a little bit of a mix of those colors first. Very gently. Very lightly. Just try to catch maybe the tops. I'm starting up here where it's going to get hidden anyway, so. So we're trying to catch that texture. Like I was telling you, there's a texture in this. And this is a big part of why we dropped that white down early. Still a little bit of that Payne's gray. I don't want to get it too bright here. Not yet. We wanted to throw that white down early so we can kind of come over the top of it. I mean, in some places, maybe not all the places, but yeah, like obviously down in there, we're not going to need it. But a little bit of overspill, overpaint, and some of this is not going to hurt anything at all. I suppose we could have done all of this prior to, but I kind of like the way this is going to work, because this is going to kind of bring our tree back to the fabric just a touch. And we'll come through and pick a lot of these lines back out. Oop, a little too much maybe. Bring that, work it off up here for a little bit. Really just trying to get in there, work that very top of that thing. We're trying to keep the dark color underneath a lot of this. Now this one's going to stay darker, and the other side of this will simply because it's in, you know, it's in the shadow. It's under him. We still want to get that, work that blue up more. A little more Crillian. Maybe a lot more Crillian. We're gonna have to do another round. Get that lighter blue. Oh, something went crazy on my screen. That was weird. Alright. Excellent. Alright, now this is going to be a little bit more just straight Crillian. This is very much just the tip tops of it. The ridges mostly. We put a little bit in those other places, but we really want to be coming across those ridges. Just slowly coming through there, taking my time, focusing on what I'm doing. Okay, now let's get this part done. Build it up just like the last one. And we're probably going to have to come through and do a little bit of extra work down there later when we attach this. But for now, we're going to get this back done. And I know my techniques and I know what I'm doing, so I can fit and match pretty easily. And unfortunately, we're missing the lovely Miss Kristen today. She unfortunately had to work. They changed her schedule for the 4th of July weekend, much to everybody's chagrin, at least for the moment. But then we found out that my sister's having a party on Friday, and she's going to be off Friday, so all's well that ends well. And she got a little bit of a promotion at her job, so that's all awesome. All things are good. Just gets sometimes a little frustrating. Everything seems to be running just fine on the dashboard here, so we're just gonna keep cruising. Nobody come to see us just yet, but that's all right. We had a couple really good days. I expected a slow traffic day coming soon. Yep, now it looks like it matches. Everything's looking beautiful. Alright, now we gotta get some white out and finish up all this freehand stuff. I was looking at the Erd tree itself. That's ERD, by the way. The unfortunate part with this Erd tree is it's really hard to kind of see it. Because it's so bright. But when you do see it, so it's like at these white branches, which is what I was going for. But some of it is like red or on fire. I'm wondering if this is like as it gets destroyed or something like that. But a lot of them have it with these very golden leaves. So we maybe go with that, and maybe just a little bit of red motif here and there. I don't know if it has any flowers. It'd be fun if it does. It does. Cool. And they are the things that are kind of the... Oh, that's perfect. Okay, so let's go ahead and early flowers. Oop. Okay, we can find the leaves. Just takes us back to that same flower. Here's some colors of some leaves. Those are fun. Okay, so we'll do those. We'll do this leaf motif, and then we'll do the other flower. That's cool. That's going to look great. And we get a little bit of reds and oranges and yellows and all of that. Okay. Okay, we can do that. Okay. So we are going to need... Those flowers have a little bit more of that red to it, which is great. And that is definitely our old favorite Alizarin Crimson. We're going to need some of that Naples. Looks like our Umbers. I know we're going to need some yellows. Probably going to need an ochre. And maybe both cadmium, medium and deep. Because there's our deep. And this is our medium. I don't use medium very often. But for pliers. I usually like darker yellows, but we need to get up with some bright. We need to come up with bright yellow here. So it's just slightly brighter. We may even need to come up to like some creamy, like a creamy lemon. Come all the way up to that. It's pretty close to it, right? Okay. Okay, so first of all, where's that white? "23 minutes in. Oh my gosh, it's almost gone. It's almost kind of sad. I've had to do paint for like a decade. Oh, goodness. Be careful about laughing too hard. Umber, burnt umber. A bit of ochre, maybe. I feel like we're gonna need that here and there. Naples. Deep cadmium. Medium cadmium. Those flowers have a very orangey color, so we might actually need an orange. Just a touch of lemon. So we're going to need that here and there. We want a little bit of this Alizarin Crimson. Oh, I'm just going to put it on the other side. Here. It is like a pretty orangey orange, so I'm going to go ahead and we're going to grab our cat of an orange hue. I'll put it over here with this guy. So I think we're going to need that here and there. Okay. First thing we're going to do is come through. Tighten up some of this just a touch. Now here I'm just going to kind of make it streaky. I want it to look like threads coming through these spots. And you can kind of make it seem like the thread got thin in some of those places, and so it's a bit not quite the way it's supposed to be or whatever. And that's all done with brush stroking. And of course, it's easier to do it in some spots than it is on another. I'm actually going to switch down to maybe a smaller brush. We're going to go with our 3.0. That one is a little too big for this. In some of these spots. Heck, this one might be too big. I think it is. Let's just go ahead and drop this guy all the way down to this /01 or 5, below 1. I mean, I was making it work, but no sense in aggravating myself. All about those brush strokes. Quite like that, actually. It definitely has that look like it's threadbared, like it's actually part of his cloak. It's stitched in, not just painted on, or even dyed in. It's dyed into the cloak. This is a pretty easy technique too. You don't have to really be too serious about what it's doing. It is a bit tedious, so I will warn you about that. This does take a little bit of time, but you can see where the results are just absolutely stunning. Completely different kind of look when it's all said and done. And that's a combination of just using the actual model itself, the texture that's on it, and brush stroking. Just keeping your brushes, your lines in the right direction to cause the illusion of thread. Looking really nice. I'm very excited about it. We're also, again, using kind of that knowledge that white is going to fade a little Whew, almost done. Looks great though. I'm probably going to keep finding little spaces for a couple of days. I'm like, oh, that's a little off, isn't it? Guess there definitely should be. Especially these little trailed off pieces. Really works good on this. You can just make a couple little slashes going one way, a couple of slashes going the other way, and that's really going to make it look like a tree branch in general. Well, we got two folks on. Welcome, welcome. Nice to see you. Appreciate you stopping by. Feel free to ask questions. In case you just came in, unless you just came in and left. You know, in that case, you can't really ask questions. So again, just kind of these spots where we overpainted on purpose, we just kind of want to give the illusion that the thread is still there. And we do that with just a couple of marks going up and down. We're going to come back, add some of these bird tree leaves and flowers. Okay. This is going to be pretty easy too. We don't really have to make them look exactly like the leaves from the pictures. We need, because you can't get that kind of detail this small on ridged plastics and stuff like that. What we can do is we can start to simulate these colors. Like so. We're going to kind of have a test over here, I'm thinking, and then we're going to come back through and finish the rest of it. This is the really good opportunity to go ahead and get any of those little parts of the design hidden away for yourself. Like some of those, as you work through this, you can get rid of some of the little flaws that maybe you've made. Woo! Have a good day, mate. Hey, thank you. Appreciate you, my friend. Only Jakes. Is that like a new website where we just get to see nothing but Jakes being Jake-like? That'd be kind of cool. As long as there's not a whole bunch of those guys from State Farm, you know, that'd be a little weird. Or is it maybe a place to discuss the movie The Two Jakes? I really do appreciate you stopping by, my friend, and thanks for saying hi. That really brightens my day. I love it when we get people that are willing to say hello. I know it takes a little jump putting yourself out there, you know. You never know what's going to happen. Oh yeah, I think this is going to work for us. I think we've got a good idea here, guys. Let's see. Let's add just a little bit of this bright lemon in here. A little bit more orange in here. Try to fill this tree out just a bit. You can see how we want to keep our white branches underneath where we can see them. But we do want to kind of bring that color on out. Use it really to kind of, the limbs are the guidelines for what we're doing. We don't want to get rid of that white completely. We need some of it to come through, but we don't need all of it to come through. And overall, it's going to make a nice, we're going to get a nice pattern on this cloak. We can come through and we can put a flower. Well, I think I'm going to put the flowers maybe more in these areas. We'll start off a cluster of flowers right here. Just to give us a little bit of experimentation time with our flower. There we go. Make little flowers just like that. Here and there on the branches. They'll look great. Ooh, gotta let my hand rest. I could risk to come up a brush size. Let's go with this 4. I don't know why I put it in that one. I need to do the orange first. We'll put a flower down there. That's where we got that little bit of yellow in it. Now that we know what our flowers are going to look like, it will be easier to kind of put them in places too. Now we've got our design down. Oh, look at that. Definitely have yellow running around all over the place. Luckily, most of that's going to get covered up with this guy. Yeah, I don't hardly see any of that. Might have to come back through and do a little bit of a touch-up. Hopefully not. We shall see, I suppose. Alright, we'll fix that later. Now that little corner's back to normal. Maybe move this further back. Maybe I'll quit sticking my fingers in there or something. Where were we? That's the 5 and that's the 3. Where's the... I left it in the cup. Bad ape. Oh no. There really isn't like a rhyme or reason to things like this either. You really just kind of just go with what feels right kind of to your eye. Like, oh, that feels right. It should be this way. It should go that way. I mean, you've spent your whole life around trees. You kind of get used to looking at them almost to a point where you've forgotten consciously, but subconsciously, you know what a tree looks like. You know whether the leaves are going to look right or not. That's why when sometimes you paint something, you're like, oh, that doesn't look right. Well, it's because you already know what looks right in your brain, deep down. You just got to get it to translate out onto your piece. And that's where the difference becomes between you know, artists that are visual artists and maybe other kinds of, you know, people who can't do visual art. They can't get the thing that they're in their brain to look like what they know it's supposed to look like. And it stops a lot of people. A lot of it's practice. You know, you just kind of practice those certain techniques, and you'll get better and better and better. People just give up a lot too easily with art. I've been guilty of that in my past myself. Let's see, might be able to skip this step over patting the brown down, but for now we're gonna keep adding that brown to it. Let's try it with just the red. Let's see what happens. I'll put a couple maybe here. Alright, we got some ideas going here now. Now we really got something going. Starting to look like a tree. It's just these little tiny dots over and over again. It's another one of the things where I like about having a thicker paint here. I can drop these colors down and they're going to stick a little bit better than with a thinner paint. They're going to kind of glob a little bit for me, which in this case we want that. We want it to kind of glob up a little bit and to stick. Woo! Oh, dang finger. Oh, well, we're past our hour for today. So, I'm going to go ahead and close down. I'm going to let my hand rest. Because, you know, I'm starting to feel like I'm pushing a little too far. We got a good idea. We got something started. I don't know where my... There it is. Anyway, there we go. Had a lot of great things. Appreciate Only Jake's coming to see us. That was awesome. Thanks for saying hello. And we had several other people. We had like 8 views today. So thank you to everybody who came by. I just know his name because he said something. Anyway, I really do appreciate everybody that does come by, and even if you just watch for a little while, it really, you know, you at least clicked. I was interesting enough that you thought I was worth watching for just a second, which is great. And that helps algorithms, and, you know, it does all that stuff. If you did like what I did, and you want to keep seeing more of what we're doing and keep up with our progress here in the studio, give us likes and subscribes. I don't know what that rumbling was, but that was odd. Anyway, so yeah, just hit us up with the likes and subscribes, and you know, we're gonna catch you here and there as we go. And you see how we're coming along. We're really gonna have something really special here. This is gonna be something very unique, and I'm really enjoying it. I know it's gonna look great. So anyway, we're gonna talk to you guys a little bit later on, probably tomorrow. As a matter of fact, I know it's tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad channel. So come and see us. Anyway, thank you all so much for coming by. I really do appreciate it. We're gonna roll ourselves out of here now. Go ahead, Steve.